In the spirit of whimsy, here's wishing you a very Merry Christmas. No, you're not mistaken, we're indeed in April, but when it's Ms. Belle Pum's birthday, anything goes. A sprightly 66-year-old Ms. Belle Pum is the reason we're donning Christmas hats in spring. Known for her eccentricities and loud farts, she has a knack for turning the ordinary into extraordinary. Today, on her birthday, we're going to dive into the world of Miss Belle Pum, her sister Hauve, her candy floss children, and her arch nemesis, Horse McGorse. It's a world full of fun, laughter, and outrageous pranks, so buckle up, because the ride is going to be as bumpy and unpredictable as Miss Belle Pum's cooking, so sit tight. We're about to embark on a delightful journey of Miss Belle Pum's birthday. Before we dive deeper into the world of the Pums, let's take a culinary detour and learn how to make one of Miss Belle Pum's favourite treats, the Bubblegum's gum cake. This bubblegum flavoured cake is a staple at all Pum family gatherings and is sure to be a hit at your next party too. Let's get started. First, gather your ingredients. You will need a box of vanilla cake mix, 3 eggs, vegetable oil, water and bubblegum extract. For the icing, you will need butter, powdered sugar, milk and more bubblegum extract. And don't forget the pastel-coloured sprinkles and candy pieces for decoration. Now, let's get to the baking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees and grease your cake pans. Mix the cake mix, eggs, oil and water together until smooth. Then stir in the bubblegum extract. Pour the batter into the pans and bake for about 25 minutes, or until a toothpick comes out clean. While the cakes are cooling, let's make the icing. Beat the butter until it's creamy, then gradually add the powdered sugar and milk until it's fluffy. Stir in the bubblegum extract. Once the cakes are cool, spread the icing between the layers and on top and sides of the cakes. Now for the fun part. Decorating. Use your pastel-coloured sprinkles and candy pieces to create a fun and festive design on your cake. Remember, the more colourful, the better. And there you have it, a Bubblegum's gum cake, straight from the kitchen of Ms. Belle Pum. Now let's get back to our story and see what happens next in the world of the Pums. Who is Ms. Belle Pum? She's a 66-year-old firecracker known to set off loud farts and laughter. Now let's meet the rest of the Pum family and their friends. Ms. Belle Pum's sister, Hauve, is a sweet and round woman, just like her children. They're an adorable bunch made of candy floss, and they bring a unique flavour to the family. Pole, the eldest, is a male polar bear. Then we have Zoe, the middle child, who's just as round as her mum and has short yellow hair and pigtails. The youngest, Nuddles, is a female golden bear, and she's the apple of everyone's eye. But every family has its own villain, and for the Pums, it's Horse McGorse. He's a goody two-shoes, always trying to make the Pums look mischievous and outrageous. But we all know who the real troublemaker is here, don't we? Now, let's talk about the birthday preparations. It's Ms. Belle Pum's special day, and for once, she's not the one cooking. Jane Fitzcostelia, from our very own team, is taking the reins this time. Hopefully, it will turn out better than last year's mishap. You see, last year Miss Belle Pum was in charge of the kitchen, and let's just say it was a feast of sorts. But before we get to that, let's talk about the party shopping. Ms. Belle Pum, Hauve, Mrs. D and D-Bell went on a shopping spree and ran into Mr. Price at the Charlestown Shopping Centre. Remember that man who vomited into a balloon? Yup, that was Ms. Belle Pum's doing. She gave him a muffin with worms, causing him to vomit into a balloon, which she then handed over the counter. The man blew it up, and when it burst, it covered the entire shop. And then Mrs. D let out a fart. And as for last year's party, well, let's just say things didn't go as planned when Ms. Belle Pum ran into Mr. Price. Get ready for a wild ride, because Ms. Belle Pum, Hauve, Mrs. D and D-Bell are going party shopping. Now, when this foursome hits the mall, it's not your typical day of retail therapy. Picture this. Ms. Belle Pum, the birthday lady herself, spots a man in Mr. Price Charlestown Shopping Centre. What does she do? She hands him a muffin. Sounds innocent enough, right? Wrong. This isn't just any muffin, it's a muffin filled with worms. Yes, you heard right, worms. As you can imagine, the poor guy's reaction was anything but subtle. He vomits into a balloon, filling it to the brim. Now, you might think, surely that's the end of it. But oh no, Ms. Belle Pum, being the mischievous character that she is, takes the balloon and hands it over the counter. A clueless man takes it, blows it up, and boom! Vomit explosion. Covering the shop. Talk about a party popper. Just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, enter Mrs. D. Remember her? The lady with the talent for farting? Well, she decides it's her moment to shine. Right there in the middle of the shopping centre, amidst the chaos of the vomit explosion, Mrs. D lets one rip. The sound echoes through the mall, as if the universe itself is laughing at the absurdity of it all. But through all the chaos and hilarity, our party shoppers remain undeterred. They gather their supplies, chuckling at the pandemonium they've caused, and continue on their way. Because in the world of Ms. Belle Pum and her friends, a little vomit and farting are just part of the fun. And if you think that's wild, wait till you hear what happened at last year's party. Before we continue with the wild escapades of Ms. Belle Pum and her crew, let's take a delicious detour. Remember the Bubblegum's gum cake recipe from scene 2? Let's revisit that sweet concoction. First, a quick recap of our ingredients. Bubblegum flavoured cake mix, pink and blue food colouring, bubblegum extract, vanilla frosting, and of course bubblegum pieces for that extra pop. Now, let's get baking. Step 1. Prepare the batter according to the cake mix instructions. Add a few drops of bubblegum extract for that authentic bubblegum flavour. Next, divide the batter into 2 bowls and add pink food colouring to one and blue to the other. Mix well. Step 2. Pour the batters alternately into a greased and floured cake pan, creating a marbled effect. Bake as per the instructions on the cake mix box. Step 3. While the cake is baking, it's time to prepare the frosting. Add a few drops of bubblegum extract to the vanilla frosting and mix well. Step 4. Once the cake is baked and cooled, it's time to frost. Spread a generous layer of the bubblegum frosting on top of the cake and on the sides. Step 5. The final touch. Decorate the cake with pastel-coloured sprinkles and candy pieces to enhance the bubblegum theme. And voila, your Bubblegum's gum cake is ready. Now here's a chef's tip for you. To take this cake to the next level, you can even add a layer of bubblegum-flavoured jelly between the cake layers. It's a surprise that will have your guests popping with delight. And with that, we're ready to dive back into the unforgettable birthday of Miss Belle Pum. Brace yourselves because things are about to get even crazier. Last year, Miss Belle Pum took cooking matters into her own hands, and boy was that a mistake. Our dear Miss Belle Pum, in her infinite wisdom, decided to play chef at her own birthday bash. The menu, it was a smorgasbord of gastronomic nightmares. First on the list was a refreshing apple juice that she served to the little ones. Only it wasn't apple juice, but cow urine. The poor tykes, they retched and hurled into a box of chocolates. Ah, the sweet innocence of childhood, tarnished by the taste of bovine pea. Then the grand entrance of the goody two-shoes, horse magorse. Miss Belle Pum, in her fury, let out a fart that could shake the foundations of any sturdy building. A whiff of her revenge was in the air, quite literally. Her devilish plan was set into motion. She had a few snotty-nosed toddlers sneeze and cough into a jelly. A man, hoaxed to believe it was a truffle, bit into it only to contribute to the vomit fiesta. Next, she roped in 3 pigs to vomit into a pot, serving it as soup. The guests, clueless, slurped it down. The pigs then peed into glasses, passed off as a fine wine. The pièce de résistance was, however, the chocolate pudding. Or should I say pig poo on a plate. What followed was a symphony of vomit. The sound of yo echoed through the room. One man, in his surprise, vomited into his wife's mouth. A woman, mistaking vomit for face cream, smeared it onto her face. The smell of vomit and betrayal hung heavy in the air. The grand finale was Miss Belle Pum chasing Horse Magorse out with a candle, her cackling laughter echoing through the night. And that, my dear viewers, is a day in the life of Miss Belle Pum. Happy birthday, you wild, eccentric woman!